What's up, you guys? I am Shani Sweets, the sweetest little thing in your ear. We are back in the sweet spot, and today I have a great guest, Mr. Malik Yusef. Am I saying it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. You guys, if you are not familiar, you're going to get real familiar in this interview, and you're definitely going to want to do your research after we finish. How are you doing today?
Me, I'm amazing. I'm
That's,
uh I'm incredible actually. Yeah.
I like that answer.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing, you know what? I'm gonna have to match up. I'm doing incredible as well. I have no
Oh
complaints.
yeah.
Just blessed to be here doing this interview. For sure. Now,
Complaining is like praying to the devil. You don't want to do that.
oh yeah, yeah. You don't want to ever do that. I looked into your background a little bit of what you do. So actually, I was almost like, do I just need to call him on the phone and tell him to tell me my life, or or is this gonna be a real interview? You are very wise. You have been around the game for a long time. Let the people know exactly who you are.
Um, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. Place called the Wild Hundreds, and I am a person who helps people in various ways. My accountant said I was born to be a servant. That's who I am. So I guess more than a helper, I'm a servant.
Okay.
I think there's a slight difference between the two.
Right. A lot of people, they might not understand that, but you here for the people. Basically, what you're saying.
No
You know,
question.
that's great. That's great. Now, how long have you been in the game? What do you do exactly?
I'm a producer and a songwriter and a folk singer.
Okay, you being real humble, you guys. So it's my turn now.
I'm trying to figure out what to say. I'm like, I don't, it's nothing really.
This is
Um,
Malik Yusef. He has worked with amazing people. He is amazing wordsmith, poet, songwriter, as he said. He's worked with so many people from Beyonce to Common to Kanye. I definitely did my research. I told you guys you want to do your research before we get into this. And
mhm.
how long have you been in the game just about?
um, I think my first appearance on anything was with of merit was with Common on One Day It All Makes Sense. I remember we was driving. He came and scooped me. Or I think I met him at his house, and we was driving around North Side Chicago, and he said, "I got this girl from Dallas that sing real good, and let me play it for you." I said, "Cool." Put the tape in. It was tape,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Damn, she sound like Billie Holiday, man." What's her name? He's like, "Her name Badu, Erykah Badu." I was like, "Man, she is important, bro. She's important." He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna introduce you to her." I'm like, "Cool." And I met her. She was like, "We should do a song together, all three of us." I was like, "That'd be great." And then it went from all three of us doing a song to just me doing my own poem on his album. One Day It All Makes Sense. A poem called My City. That wound up getting like radio play in different cities and stuff. And it allowed me to tour with him. That was 97 in the end. Um, Carl Thomas heard it. I was like, man, Chicago niggas is doing their thing. I want you to be on my album. So we started working on Carl Thomas in like 99, something like that. And it came out like 2000, 2001, and then of course that led off to me doing a song with him for my project. That Lauren Hill told me I should do a poetry project. I didn't understand poetry project then. I was from the street. I'm like, you gonna listen to a nigga doing poetry like on that whole album, but it wound up being great and on gold and all that. And then that bled off into um, working with Kanye um, and me helping him out from a fiduciary standpoint, and so on and so forth. So it's just kind of one thing, like you hear this saying, one thing leads to another, and I think that is the most apropos way to delineate how the universe works. How she moves is one thing leads to another, negative or positive or whatever you want to call it, constructive or deconstructive, or I won't even say destruct. I'll say agreeable or disagreeable. Depends on where you are.
Okay. Now, since '97, you've been in the game. What did you know this is what you were going to be doing? Get into the music industry or getting into being a wordsmith? Like this, was this a plan from the get go, or how did it come about?
No, this is not something I foresaw on my behalf. It just was it literally was a fortuitous action on behalf of the universe. I guess she knew that I needed to be here, that I couldn't be in the streets forever, which I didn't see. I thought as long as I had a great system, I could, sell dope forever. That's what I really thought that. I really thought that it would be, just don't tell on nobody, don't hurt nobody, all that. Don't take nothing from innocent people, and use it for good. Use your power for good. But it was people in that gang that was lazy and didn't want to adhere to the rules and the structure, so they started telling. And a lot of really good men that did a lot for people, especially it's always the good guys, right? Really good guys start going to prison. People that was, making sure people had heat, making sure they had cars, making sure the kids went to college, which kind of, was really where the game was, which is, um, what one of the American idioms, I think, and it's true to worldwide, but especially in America where it's concentrated, is that you have people that we call outlaws that they like to call criminals. And not that some people aren't criminals, but a lot of times people be outlaws and they demonize the outlaws because they create and draw the lines of the laws that you have to operate within, and they get to have everything outside the law. They get to dump chemicals into the earth and you know uh, test test products on people and use cheap ingredients that cause harm, and then that bolsters the medical system.
Time
And
the
it's all,
You can do anything to get the FDA to approve you. It don't really take. They'll take everything except for one thing and say, "Oh, okay, everything else is cool." It almost will kill you. It really will, but
mm-hmm,
it's just like they do that, and it's like, okay, so we supposed to trust you guys with these medicines and everything and these vaccines, and
mm-hmm,
y'all let so many things slide because, like you said, on the outside, you know,
mm-hmm,
all these things you make the guidelines and stuff like that.
mm-hmm,
How did
mm-hmm.
you make the guidelines for yourself? How did you create it to be?
I just lead, I just lead with respect. I lead with the idea of community. I lead with the idea of fortification, uh, uh, group group aesthetics, um, uh, tribal uh, tribal normality, things like that. And those are what the OGs have taught me for moving around the earth, and you know basically always looking to do the basic rule, the golden rule. We look at these things like the golden ratio, the golden rule. The reason why the word gold is used because it's probably the most valuable um, mineral in the universe. It's definitely one of the rarest. Just got a lot of diamonds are quartz, right? So like these diamonds is just like it might be entire asteroids or comets made out of diamonds, but you won't find one made out of gold because gold is a conductor of energy, and electricity is an energy. And there's several different kind of energies, several different levels of electricity. Our body produces electricity. We run our computers and our homes off of a different type of it. So it's wattage and it's ohms and it's voltage. And I don't want to get into the science aspect of it too much, but gold conducts that. And there is, the golden rule: do unto others, you have them do unto you. And I don't look at it as what I would have you do for me, because you may not be able to do anything for me. Not that you can't, but the them is the Elohim is what I believe. How would you want the Most High to treat you? To treat other people like that?
And that makes sense. And that makes sense. And that took you into a whole nother path from where you started. I actually watched your TED talk, and
Mm,
man, when I say, I was like, whoa, what you have come from and what you overcome, especially, with your parents, your relationship with your parents. A lot of people don't really understand. It's not a joke when you say you need both of them on your
mm,
side. You need
mm-hmm,
both of them in your house, you need both of them on your side, on each other's side. When there's a
mm-hmm,
split or one is not paying as close attention to,
mm-hmm,
a lot of things can result in harming that child that they're raising. So, how important is it for you to really let people know, like, this is what I came from, and this is what I overcome? You taught yourself so many skills to get where you are today, and you're telling that story now. So, how are you going to continue to do that, and how important is it for you?
I every time I get the opportunity, I give my testimony, because I passed so many tests, so I can kind of give people the key. And also, I've developed some cheat codes to bypass or or circumnavigate some of the traps that befall black men, especially in America. I think that we have we have evolved so much that we start to understand the burden that black women have carried for us for so very long, and they've done it willingly and damn near without complaint. It's amazing because, obviously we got shot at first. Once they know if they could compromise the spiritual integrity, the moral integrity of black men, they could create a nation of people, a servant that could be in perpetual servitude. And black women was like, okay, since we're not getting shot at directly, we're gonna bolster you up. We're gonna hold you up. And some dudes they let all their blood out, they let all their fluid, their energy out. So they were becoming deleterious. It's like zombies, when you try to save somebody and they get bit anyway, and you're like, damn, I got a zombie in my house now. And black women have suffered that for a very long time. And now that we've always known it, but now that we get to see ourselves as black men through the lens of our female counterpart, we get to see, the ugliness that has been wrought against us, and that we have to heal from. So I'm very proud of this moment in our world where it's like, yo, protect black women, like just plain old, and then without saying, I'm not, I don't think that's not what we said. We said protect black women. I'm not saying you are a person that's not doing it. This
Right.
is not. This is affirmational. This is instructional. This is not for you to say, but I'm not. That's fine. We understand that. We clear that it's not everybody. It's not all black men. Stop with that. We know that. We saying, as a whole, unicyclically protect black women, and I'm glad to see that place. It makes me able to breathe. And now then we'll address once we get the black woman who is been the support system. And all of Bruce Lee said the woman is the foundation. All the ancient scriptures say the woman is the foundation. Nobody else has their women compromised like ours has been compromised. And it's because we've had not the ability to defend for a very long time. But now that we do, even though it's still gonna be dangerous, they're still gonna look at you and act crazy about it. But shit, do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's worth dying for. So and now we can see the vulnerability of black males. You look at, you start to see, oh, black males are sexually vulnerable because we don't even understand the rules. So I think that
Jumping
the
off
first step
is not okay.
is, huh?
I said jumping off the porch early is not okay.
I was 12.
There
I
you
was
go.
12, and I was not ready. It was something that was needed from me because it was some nurturing and it was some validation, and she was 16, but when I got 15, my girlfriend was 33,
Mm.
and I was living like an adult. I was going to bars, going to clubs, driving cars, 15 years old, you know, and there's a bunch of developmental steps that I didn't that I didn't get to have. So my my social uh, awkwardness, is part of my. Of course, it's part of my, my trauma, and it's also, part of me being on the spectrum for autism, but also too just that I didn't get to develop, as an adolescent, you know. So the chances I took had to be so calculated. As an adolescent, you get to take calculated risk, and then you still have a cushion. The adults around you can cushion you, because that's how humans we really develop through our adolescence. The people that's in the group, the adolescents, we learn from them. They create new concepts. They take risks. They mix the prefrontal cortex with the limbic system. These are things I had to study so I could learn how the brain works, so I could conquer my own things. But these are important steps. The most obnoxious person to be around as a human is a teenage male. Like those those creatures are, man.
Yeah.
But we don't also give them the information that's needed. We don't also go in. We say, ugh, and then we throw them all together with no guidance. So I was able to move through that, because I was gifted, especially gifted. I was born with something special, and I do know that.
Mhm.
You shouldn't have to be, you know, a genius to survive America. That makes no sense. You shouldn't. If you black, you shouldn't have to be 6'2", fast, can fight, can speak well. Shouldn't have to be me to survive America and to make your comeuppance here. It doesn't make sense. So this is where I find myself pondering, how do we, level out the playing field? Not saying we don't people be their best, but you don't have to be the best to survive. In our society, if you are not the very best, if you are not in the NBA, you're not making no money. You could be a basketball player, but if you're not in the NBA, your money shout. You could be a great athlete, but if you're not in football, if you're not in the NFL, these guys they get to go into front offices, and they get to fucking be the doctor or the lawyer or the agent because they got the connections. And I think that we keep missing those parts of it and saying, "Oh, black people make everything about race." Well, you know what? You know what tuna do? Tuna make everything about predators. They make everything about sharks and dolphins and killer whales. They make everything about predators because they have to live in that. Like, well, think about the water. Yeah, I think about the water, and then I think about the water. I think about what's in the water. So come on, y'all, let's school together.
Right, right.
And they don't allow. They like, no, why y'all schooling together? Because they want to pick us off. So we don't school together. Then they pick us off. So yes, it's about race, and it's okay to understand it's about race because that's what the country was founded on. And if you're okay with the spoils of racism, you should be also okay with the foibles of racism. You know?
And you've worked with some of like the best of the best, at least what society say are the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
closest friends. But I know the conversations are different from what social media and the fans out there. A lot of people fan base do more harm to what their favorite radio personality or favorite singer or whoever is actually trying to put out there, the message they're actually trying to put out there. And with you talking
yeah.
about healing and the people that you keep close in your circle, how have you, along with people like Jay-Z, Beyonce, comment, all of course, you know exactly how they've done it, but explaining your way how getting the message out there works. I mean, you're a Grammy Award winning songwriter. So how do you get what you believe along with what they believe out there in that good message?
Well, we just released a song Friday, called "Shelter," um, that I co-wrote and produced. Did some background vocals, and I'll just be serving, But it's with Wyclef, Vic Mensa, and Chance the Rapper, and it's really doing great numbers. And man, it's emotional
Mhm.
because it's intently about our people, and Chance's verse is intently about the following the life of this young lady, being displaced. We trying to change the language around homelessness. Not trying to. We change the language around homelessness, and it's youth experiencing homelessness. Not that you are homeless, you're experiencing homelessness, but also a even better term, displaced resident.
Mhm.
And it is the most deleterious to the guess who, black women. You know, young black women, they fall victim to every, you know, to every potential societal proclivity because of the lack of shelter. So the song is Shelter, and Wyclef does a great job singing it. And the verses, you know, just the Victor and what Chance does is just amazing. And I just love when we can give something like that to our people. I was one of the few artists that was blessed to work on Lemonade and 444. So, you know, it was amazing to see.
That was a big.
They, yeah, that was it was big. It was to see the pain that Sis was emoting um, because of her circumstance with her husband, you know, and how I was very proud and still am proud of Hove. You know, of course, the initial shock of the ostentatiousness of her lyrics about, you know, going to a new nigga and fucking up a bitch and all these different things, and you know, him hearing her just, you know, lamb in front of the world. Not, I mean, I'm talking about, I mean, she sold millions of records and streams, people, and black women, women everywhere, but black women especially, were like, yes, we screaming at y'all in y'all face, and y'all better take it, you know. And I told her, I said, man, the greatest thing you ever did was on that elevator, not unfold your hands, not try to protect yourself, not block nothing. Stood there and got beat up, G. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know you Hove and you a gangster and rich playboy and all that, but you had to get beat up,
Yeah.
you know, and you had to take the album and hear it, and people wasn't rough, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't pretty, it was rough.
And answer the question is, are you gonna lose Beyonce? Okay, like,
Exactly,
are you? That's
exactly.
are you gonna lose Beyonce, Jay Z? Like, that's a real question right there. That's not no like question that only the stars want to know or the fans. Like, that's a question that your mama want to know. Your brothers want to know. Your wife, your kids. Like, that's a real life question, and I could just imagine being human, being, a part of that process and allowing her, even her allowing herself to share that with you.
Yeah,
You're the whole
yeah.
friend. You are a creative. You are an artist, and you have the capabilities to get a message out there just as well as she does. So that
The
could.
message, the message that she put out, the song I wrote was Sandcastles,
Mm,
and I didn't write it for her. I
okay.
wrote it for Tiana Taylor to sing with Chris Brown as a duet
Mm,
about, because I feel like Chris Brown has still got some explaining to do to the black community, and he needs to, you know, take, you know, I wanted to see her, I want to see Tiana scream. Cause Rihanna, I didn't think Rihanna would do it. I want to see Tiana scream at him on behalf of black women as a proxy. That's what I was hoping. And somehow, well, Kanye was like, "No, I don't like that," which is his everyday with anything. All right, I don't like that. That ain't something. I
Kanye.
was like, "Yeah, oh, I mean, Kanye don't like me. I don't like him. You know what I'm saying? He not my type of nigga. I'm not his type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? We we work well together because I put pressure on him. I'm friction for him. You know what I'm saying? So we distill a great time of music. You know what I'm saying? We come together because we are brothers, but we're not friends. You
Got
know, I don't share his views on life. He don't share mine. You know, we are nothing alike really. I mean, I helped mold him into a man more than a musician. You know, I mean, of course, the musician because our particular chemicals together make great slaps. But as far as me and him, like I don't hang out with him. I don't go out with him. I see him 20 days a year. Huh?
parts of Chicago.
I'm from a different part of Chicago than him. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
yeah. And
That
I'm also
has something to do with it, but
not that. That's not really what it's just that he's just a different type of nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know. And I'm not that type of person, and I don't like those type of people that he is. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And he not the type of person that I am either. I'm pressure. I guess I'm a do-gooder. You know, I'm not with all of the well, I ain't gonna go too much into a nigga personal business, but I ain't with all the shit that he know.
Right.
So, so Beyonce wound up getting the song through a guy that played the piano and sang. He sang the demo. So his friend, she got Beyonce the song, or Teresa the song, and Beyonce heard it. And Teresa called me like, your sister cried when she heard that song. I'm like, what song? But you know what's the crazy thing, Shani? The whole time that I was writing that song, Beyonce was in my spirit. I'm like, why is Beyonce in my spirit when she married to my big bro? This don't even make sense. What's this feeling? It don't make sense. And it wound up being that. And in that way, she says, you know, bitch, I scratched out your face, your name and your face. You know, that was I wanted Tiana to say that to Chris Brown, not Beyonce to say it to Jay-Z. But you know, being that way. And
Hey,
she was able to scream and holler in front of the world at her husband and
yeah.
say these words to her husband. And it was a vindication for all women, but especially women who are black.
Right. Right.
Where nobody say, girl, stop acting like that. You bigger than that. You better than that. Girl, okay, cool, we get it. Girl, calm down. Nobody said that. And black women have been told that for so long. When they like, no, I'm outraged with this nigga. I might go back with him, but right now I'm cussing him out.
Right.
I'm calling him out. You need to, big homie, need to grow up.
Right.
The shit she was saying on the album was just like,
Hey,
whew.
definitely. I be telling them, look, I'm 5 feet, but I'm big dog around here. Like, don't play with me, okay? Sometimes you gotta let it out. You gotta definitely let it out. Let people know, especially somebody that you with. Let them know, like, I love you. You know, I'm rocking with you. We done got this ring and all that, but this ain't that.
This ain't that. And that's what that whole, and you could tell because of the reception. They had lemonade party. I was invited to do lemonade. I didn't go to none of them. They like, we got strawberry lemonade down here in Atlanta. Come through. We doing our strawberry lemonade party. Peach lemonade peach lemonade in Georgia. I think it was New York. They had a strawberry lemonade. Then they had a lime and lemonade. It was all kind of lemonade. Kept hitting me all online. Come, could you be a special guest? I was like, no, I'm not gonna be a special guest there. I'm scared to death.
All in the comments, lemons all under the post. Like, you, if you ain't like lemonade before then, you like some lemonade now. Like, and you want it from Texas. So funny story. Beyonce's dad is actually from Gaston, Alabama, which is where I'm from.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so when she go home and visit, like on the low, you know, that's
No.
yeah, like, you know, she's from Texas, but her dad, like her family stayed across the street from my great grandmother, her like uncle.
No.
Yes. So my mom actually went to Litchfield High School where they came as Destiny's Child and they used to, you know, perform. I think they gave jerseys. This was like in the 90s. And my grandmother worked at that lunchroom since my mom was in school. So when she put that album out, I'm talking about it was spirits all up and through there that felt that. Okay, I don't care what city you was from, if you had some type of connection, like when you had to really look at your dude and be like, yeah, Beyonce, right? Like, like you have to channel what you could channel. Yeah, that definitely was when that album came out. I was like, oh yeah, she from my city.
Yeah, you had to claim that one. That's real, but it's real too. It's not fictitious. You really had the connections. Yeah, that spirit, like you say, those spirits in that album. Woof.
Yeah.
I was I went to Turkey, and women in Turkey. I met this woman. She was a short, super skinny, blonde, blue-eyed lady named Latifa, and she was like, I cried so much. I cried so much. There's so much therapy. I was like, wow. It's doing like that. It's doing that to people. It's like therapy. And then that's why I think when I was able to work on, so that came out in April. By that January, I was working with Hove on his new album, and it wasn't starting off to be an apology album and all that. It was going to be another Jay-Z, I'm Rich, you know. And then we just started talking, and some healing started to take place, and those songs came out. I remember one particular instance when the part where he said, being the husband number, he said, before y'all heard it, it was said being the husband I'm becoming. Beyonce hadn't heard any of the album, and it started to get more and more apologetic and more remorse and more redemptive. It wasn't called 444 yet, and I forgot, it might have been called something else, but it wasn't that. And he said, I'm gonna let her hear something tonight. I was like, well, okay, G. All right, OG, let's go ahead. And my heart beating fast. I'm like, man, I know Beyonce, so I'm like, she gonna be so happy to hear this because he ain't said nothing publicly. And the first thing he gonna say is gonna be through this album. And we was getting other black men together that, and dealing with, something that would seem in other places like something that we could get over easily. But in America, the infidelity aspect of it heaps on you because the expectation of inhumanity once you get married, of like you become a super creature because you're married. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? For men or women. And so, it was like this moment was big, and then he went home and played it for us. We came to the next day, and I was just, I was calm, and I was excited to hear what he said. And he was like, "I played it for her." I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm trying to be calm, like, "Oh yeah, whoa." I said, "Yeah." What's this say? She said she ain't like that part. I said, "What part?" He said, "The part where I say the husband I'm becoming." She said, "No, it's the husband you become." We had a moment in that motherfucker. We had a moment in that motherfucker studio. We
Right
was like,
in the steps that it takes to become, you become.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so
While there's no becoming, you become. Yeah, exactly. And she said that to him, and and he was proud. I know he set it up the way he said it to me. It was a setup in the whole nine, but I was like, oh yeah. Then we took off. Then the whole thing was, I don't know how I fucked up this bad. I was tripping. And you were in another world. When you do those things, you go into another part of yourself. That's a world, it's another entity. You know what I'm saying? So it was just amazing. And talking about, obviously, OJ said, I ain't black, I'm OJ.
okay.
Okay. that pregnant pause.
Okay.
That pregnant pause. Nigga.
Now I definitely want to ask because you have your beliefs and just getting a healing message into the hip hop community. A little back history, the Sweet Spot Media is about doing that. I started it in school, so I was going to be, just talking about mental health and try to implement it in some way into hip hop. And I just decided to just do it through conversation and not make a big thing about it. But sweet is sauce with earthly energy throughout. And
Ooh.
definitely okay. Okay, when you say sweet, you're gonna think about that. All right.
Ooh.
Now, Janae Aiko helped me get through the most troubling. Last year, she put out Chilumbo, and a lot of people really kind of realized the things that she was saying, the messages that she was putting out, from her and Big Sean breaking up to getting back together to coming out and kind of doing the Beyonce Jay-Z thing. They did a whole song together saying I'm single again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They got back together. I definitely would see you working with Janae in some type of aspect. Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
I love Janae, first of all. It's my people, But I took a picture with Janae and put on my Instagram. One time me and her was hanging out. And I was like, I think I said we working soon or something like that. And I got reached out by somebody who I care about and love, and was like, yo, that's a sore spot for me.
Mm,
Um, it's a long story, but so I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm I'm gonna ease up on that. That's my people though. I love Janae, and of course Big Sean. I helped get his career started. But it's some it's inner workings and politics and things like that. And I'm not saying politics like it's my internal emotional politics that are involved.
feeling that
So
true
you have to how
relationships.
you move in this industry. You got to be kind of careful, and it's about what you're doing it for. You
Mhm.
know,
Okay.
so yeah.
When that
But
happens,
thank you for that.
that's what it is.
If it happens, I'll be so glad to do something with her. But I'm just also so glad to serve people and help with their mental and spiritual health about things too. You know what I'm saying? So
What do you have coming up next? What are you doing next that we can be looking for? I know, but I want the people. I don't know how far you've gotten in the process. So I want you to tell the people what you're working on right now.
um man, it's a couple things, but I think right now I'm doing my writing camp that I do every year, but I'm doing it online, which is new
Okay.
and different for me, but it feels good. Um, and we're writing songs. I'm writing for everybody, just sending stuff to people. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, it's fine. But just getting back into that bag, and then writing some songs for me and my band to travel. I'm just trying to do small venues, like 1,000 people venues right now. I don't want to, I love opening up. Like I loved opening up for Jay-Z on 444. Every night is 25,000 people or 15,000 people or whatever in every venue, and they, standing ovation. But you know, I think my music is a little bit more intimate. That's easy to do as just, no ego involved. That's easy to do as an opening act, because I'm opening up for Jay-Z. People excited about seeing Hov. I come out, I say shit, I rock nation this, and I'm like, oh shit, and all that. But doing a whole show for 25,000 people, and I don't have those kind of hit records. I got some joints, but I don't have that kind of catalog. So my catalog is very intimate, I think, and I like that about myself. And I have rocked some big places, I've rocked some big places. But when I'm just thinking like the intimacy of new Malik Yusef music, I just think of like, the way I want to put it out as a DJ and musicians at the same time. It's new. We haven't seen it before, It's never been done like that. So I'm excited and I look forward to it. And I guess some of the songs I write for other people that they don't take, I'm gonna use for myself.
It is what it is. Somebody need to hear it.
Yeah, no question.
And
No
write it
question.
for no reason. So it got to be put out there regardless of who puts it out there. So yeah, definitely use
Yeah,
that. And
yes.
also, you have a documentary or docu-series that you're working on?
hmm Yeah, my docu-series, kind of like the story of my life. So yeah, it's just gonna be it's beautiful, and it's being done like nobody's ever done it before again. Just I'm always innovating. I think I came into the game and I changed the game up with like taking spoken word out of like the dark jazz clubs and put it on main stage, Not just poetry, I mean spoken word, like of course Maya Angelou and Gwendolyn Brooks, and and even Saul Williams was doing something, but I think I took it out of like the esoteric realm and made it like tactile and tangible for street motherfuckers and shit like that. Me saying words. I didn't know the rules of poetry, so me saying nigga and me saying bitch and like I'm in love with my bitch. People was like, first poet was like, I had a poem. I said me, you know me, nigga. I'm in love with my bitch. People was like, what in the world did he just say? But this was in 94, 95. Where
Right,
people was like, you can't say that.
right.
I was like, I was like, she grew up. I said, she grew up poor, but she gonna die rich. And it's just like, what is he talking about? Money and shit in poetry. I didn't know that's what you weren't supposed to do,
Right, right, right.
you know?
It's like
So
art. It's like the abstract.
yeah, so it was way different. So but when Love Jones came, people was able to see, my style of poetry with Lorenz, and the whole nine.
Let them know that
So
my mom gonna go crazy when she hear that you was she gonna be looking for you on the screen. So I'm gonna tell her you was back there for a little second.
yeah, just 4.5 seconds of some bullshit, But it's cool though. That's a long story. That's gonna be in the documentary too, how that came about. The docu series gonna be dope. It's gonna be so funny, so enlightening. There's gonna be some moments of levity. I ain't gonna say funny, but it's gonna be some moments of levity. But it's also gonna be a very searing, introspective, deep dive into the mechanics of making a person. I think we don't get to see that. We get to see biology. We get to see um, how the inner workings of the circulatory system versus the respiratory system versus the nerve. But we don't see the spiritual part. Like I was at Hove House one day. He was saying like the most important parts of the human being are invisible. It's the being part, not the human.
Mm.
And that's just one of those powerful idioms that Hove always be dropping. The dude, he's just so fucking brilliant, man. I love him so much, man. Just Just grateful to have him in my life. You know, it's been heaven to work with him. You know, every time I get an opportunity, if I never get another opportunity to work with Hov, he's changed my life so profoundly in so many ways. And seeing him grow again. I remember Single Hov when I was young in the industry. I remember Single Hov. It was unbelievable. It was like, what in the world? You know, it was every woman in when I say every woman in the industry, I mean every. I'm talking about super movie stars, actors that's on TV shows and singers and songwriters and models. I was just like,
Yes.
this ain't normal, man. Like,
I
man,
was I was my age, obviously. I was not old enough to be even, but it was a respect about Jay-Z too. You know what I'm saying? I was not in the city, I was not near him. I had no, but when I'm the type of person, I live through music. I like to um
mm,
connect with people through their music, get to know who they are. Because it's not really hard. It's not as difficult as people want to make it seem. It's just
that's true.
here to understand what they're really saying. So even through everything, watching his videos, I knew that this was what I was going to do. You know,
Mm,
I knew
mm,
or that it was what I wanted to do. Watching him
mm,
go to 106 in Park and all the, just the big the jean jackets and the jerseys and
mhm,
all that stuff like
mhm.
that. Like it's embedded in my style. If you see how I dress, like, and you can say,
I
oh, that's
see you.
the 2000s or whatnot.
You
Well,
very fresh. You very fresh.
thank you, thank you.
You're very fresh. There's something about you. Just yeah, you're very fresh. I love it.
Thank you. I thank
But
you.
you also get to dress how you want to dress because you're real pretty. So it's that's all an aesthetic. So you get the cheat code. You can wear anything. You put a
But
potato sack on and look fresh.
that is very true. But you have to you can dress how you want to dress, but you got to become what you putting on. And
Mm.
yeah, what I was putting on wasn't what I felt or wasn't what I saw for a very, very long time, but it was what I depended on. God's not gonna put
Mhm.
on you that you can't bear yourself, but He's gonna surround you with the tools that you need to get you to that next step. So my
Mhm.
clothes, me being from Alabama, but also living in Connecticut, my mom being from the Bronx, like all of that was kind of like really important things that I depended on to find out who I was and to be where I'm at in this space right now. And it's
Mhm.
funny because even that going all the way back to those days ties right in with 2020 and just really turn over a leaf. So it's a lot of things that you can listen to, a lot of people you can listen to and learn from people that's not directly in your face or directly
Mhm.
Jay-Z, Beyonce, yourself. I'm very, very grateful for you being on my platform. Like I was like, yo, I gotta do my research. And as soon as I click play, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Girl, you knew you was going, you somebody like this, but it's just a humbling experience to hear your story and just know that it don't matter where you from, what you doing, you create what you want to create and you're surrounded and attracted to the people that's gonna get you to that space. So it's
And
like
just like when you create this space, is the word sweet is very important to humans, right?
mhm,
That word is very important to humans because there's nutrients, right, in that sugar. That's why we like things sweet. So people that we like a lot that edifies, we call them sweet. You're so sweet because there's nothing in an apple that's sweet. It's just how our tongues as humans, as simians and primates interpret. We interpret it as sweet because we needed it so much that our DNA changed to appreciate it
mhm,
because and then seek it out because it's again a lot of nutrients in it, the whole nine. But there's a thing also too that benefits us, and we have to look at it and understand to use that as it's not a negative thing. Used to be a time people like, you think you cute, and it was a negative, a deleterious thing. And now we understand that there's a human thing called the beauty bias, that we are more akin to pay attention to somebody that's attractive to us,
mhm,
which also makes us seek out mates that can have genetic combination to make our children more attractive because they attract more things. But I think this, I think that people who are attractive have a higher responsibility. I've been studying this for years, and to have a higher responsibility to use their voice, um, like what you're doing. Yeah, you're gorgeous, and you know that you've been that way your whole life, but you use it to shed light on ugly issues, and that's so important. Now, I've been studying that and putting together a theorem on that whole exact thing. Um, I feel like we we try to downplay the people who are pretty. We try to downplay it and make them feel guilty about it, and that's wrong. It's supposed to be using that as an edification tool. So I just wanted to point that out. And I talked to my kids about that. I had a long talk with them last year, set them down and talk about the beauty bias, especially my son Cairo. He's really, very aware. I don't like using the word woke because we used to say that all the time, and now everybody uses it. So they kind of
Kind of deteriorate
diminish the, yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
hmm So I say aware. Um, and I remember he was 4. He's 9 now. When I first turned on and showed him Bob Marley, he was like just mesmerized. He's like, "Daddy, can I have my hair like that?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." So he had locks since he was 4. He been locking since he was 4. So it's 5 years, and just just a really beautiful spirited young boy, and every woman, of course, is like, "Oh my God, he's so cute," and I'm like, "Yeah, take that and say thank you, and then use that to protect people. If you're gonna be the one that's attractive, I want you to have wisdom and understanding on how to take up for people that don't get that reaction." So I had a long talk with my kids about that, and especially Cairo, and you know, I just wanted to point that out, that you're doing something with your gift. That's a gift. You didn't do nothing to be pretty. You know what I'm saying? It's your mother and father. They made you. Accidental birth. But because you are, and you use that, and you use the word sweet and all these things. I don't know if you knew you were doing that on purposely or not, but all those things are gifts that the Creator gave you, so that you can help people that don't have that, so you can kind of balance the playing field. And I just want to thank you for being holding space like you hold space. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. And I didn't realize it, I didn't, but then I did. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I actually was called angry by a manager. I used to bartend, put me through school, and why are you so angry? And I'm like, I'm not angry. You're just not doing your job. Like, come on, man. Like I said, my family from New York, Alabama, all that. Like, so, like, yo, I'm working right now. You need to be working right now. I ain't angry, but he said it in front of other black men, in an open kitchen, while we're busy. Just it was just not appropriate. And I after I finished doing my job, I went, and I explained to him. And I asked him, you have a wife. Is your wife black? He was black, but I asked, is she a black woman? Blah blah blah. And he expressed, yeah. And I'm like, do you not know the stigmatism behind the angry black woman? Like, that movie Tyler Perry put out was not what y'all took it and made it into when it comes to slang and social media. Yeah, don't call me an angry black woman. And then from that point forward, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell people what they're gonna call me. I'm gonna show people who I am,
I
and
love it.
opposite of angry. And I'm like,
I love it.
and that's what it is. Now it's the sweet spot. It's the sweetest place to be when you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just how it is, and that's gonna how it's gonna always be. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. Every bit of it. I love what you're doing. I love how you're doing it. I love the person that's doing it. I thank you for letting me be here.
awesome.
Being honored.
This is only the beginning because I got so much more coming. I would love to continue to work and support everything that you have going on, the messages, the docu series, anything. If I gotta post it 1,000 times, I'm with it, and I'm so grateful for it. So I want you to let everybody know where they can find you. They know where you're from, but where they can find you at as far as social media and all that stuff.
Um, I guess I'm on Clubhouse under Malik Yusef, MalikYusef. Twitter is Malik Yusef, MalikYusef. Facebook, Malik Yusef, MalikyUsef, and Instagram Malik Yusef 100.
Okay.
That's what I keep it.
Okay. And is there anything that you want everybody to be looking for ASAP that you have coming up?
If you're an artist, if you're a writer, songwriter, or artist or a musician, you should get into either the songwriting camp or the beat camp. I think that'd be good for you.
Okay. All right, beat camp. I was just talking about me wanting to make some beats. I used to be on Fruit Loops back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So
Get in,
okay,
get
then
in.
try to be
If
out
you
here.
want to get in,
Chloe is a bomb producer and beat maker right now. Like I know she's just now getting into it heavy, but from Chloe and Halle.
good.
Chloe from Chloe and Halle.
That's my babies. They're my babies.
No, she's crazy. Like I've only seen a couple clips, and I'm like, they not ready for her to really like start doing y'all beats out here.
They're my babies. I've been working with them. You know, they mama. I just hit her yesterday and told her. I said, "Tell your mama I love her and I miss her." Yeah, I love them girls.
Yeah, they very, very special, very smart, very talented, and very embodying. Okay, make sure you tell them that I said very embodying. Keep doing what they doing. I've been seeing social
Mm-hmm.
coming for Chloe and all that stuff. Forget
Oh
all
yeah,
that.
fuck. I've been
Forget all that.
well. I've been people up playing with my shorty like that. Fuck them, fuck them.
I know that's right. I know that's right. But I thank you so much. I am so looking forward to everything you have coming out, everything that I can listen to. I'm about to go back and be like, yo, that's the homie. He did this song all the way back to 97. Like I really want to like really
Yes,
dive
ma'am.
into everything that you've created. So I'm so grateful for this. Thank you.
Thank
And
you, guys.
you're welcome. All right, guys, that is all with Mr. Malik Yusef. Like I said, y'all need to do your research and all that good stuff like that. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. You know it's the sweet spot, and I'm Shani Sweets, the sweetest little thing in your ear, and we out.